Noah, the ark and the rain, settle in welcome. Let the room become quiet around you. Let the day fall back. Let the old story come slowly, like rain first heard in the distance. This is the story of Noah, the ark, the animals, the rain, the long waiting, the raven and the dove, the olive leaf, the dry ground, the bow in the cloud. We will tell it gently. There is no need to make the storm loud. There is no need to fill the telling with fear. The story can be calm and still be whole. Breathe in and out. Let the breath settle into its own rhythm. If your attention softens as you listen, that is all right. The ark will keep floating. The dove will still find her leaf. Morning will still arrive in its own time. For now, come into the quiet of the story. A troubled world, a faithful man, a command to build, a door closed against the rain, a family kept safe, birds sent out across the water, a branch of green, dry earth, and peace. Noah. Before the ark rested on the mountain, before the dove returned with the olive leaf, before the animals stepped out into open air, there was Noah. The world around him had grown dark. The old account says the earth was filled with violence. We do not need to look long at that darkness. It is enough to know that the world was not at rest. People had forgotten how to live gently with one another. But Noah walked with God. That is a quiet sentence. It does not hurry. It does not boast. Noah walked with God, step by step, day by day, in ordinary light, in ordinary work, faithful when the world around him was not. And God spoke to Noah. There would be water, there would be rain. Life would be carried through it, not abandoned to it. Noah was told to build an ark, a great vessel of wood, large enough for his family, large enough for the creatures, strong enough to float when the ground itself disappeared beneath the waters. The old story gives the ark as a real thing, not a vague idea. It was to have rooms within it. It was to be covered with pitch, inside and out, so the water could not enter. It was to have a window above and a door in the side. It was to be built for keeping, not for display. It was not a small instruction. It was not a task for one afternoon. Noah listened. That is where the ark begins, not with hammer or plank, but with listening. The ark is built before the rain. There was wood. Long before the first drop touched the roof, there were days of measuring and cutting, lifting and joining, sealing and checking. The ark did not appear all at once. It rose slowly under the open sky. Imagine the sound of the work. Timber set down on earth, tools against wood, a plank shaped smooth, dark pitch pressed into the seams, ribs of wood becoming walls, empty spaces becoming rooms, a vessel becoming real, board by board. Noah may have heard questions. He may have felt the strangeness of the work himself. A great boat built on dry ground is not an ordinary sight. But obedience does not always look sensible from the outside while it is still being built. Noah could not see every hour that lay ahead. He did not know how the ark would sound when it lifted from the ground. He did not know how long the waiting would feel from inside, but he knew the command, and he did the next faithful thing. One board, then another, one seam, then another, one day, then another. The ark became a shape in the world, a wooden mercy, a place where life could be gathered and kept. And when the building was done, the ark stood ready, door open, rooms waiting, food gathered, straw laid down, the smell of timber and pitch in the air. The animals come in, then the animals came. Picture them gently, not in panic, but in a strange and ordered procession. Birds with bright eyes, cattle moving slowly, sheep close together, goats stepping carefully, small creatures low to the ground, larger creatures with steady weight, wings folded, hooves on the ramp, breath and straw and warm bodies entering the dim wooden rooms. The ark had room for the large and the small, room for what flew and what crept, room for the timid and the strong, room for all the different ways life moves through the world. Noah and his family watched them come. Some animals may have entered easily, some may have paused at the threshold. Birds settled on their perches. Heavier animals shifted in the straw. Food was stored. Water was kept. The lamps were made ready. There would have been practical work everywhere. Grain in its place, fodder stacked, water vessels secured, stalls checked, quiet corners made for smaller creatures, walkways kept clear. The ark was not a dreamlike cloud. It was wood, rope, straw, food, breath and care. The ark was no longer only a vessel. It had become a household of living things. The door closes, then Noah entered the ark with his family. His wife entered. His sons entered. Their wives entered. The family that had watched the ark rise from the earth now stepped inside it together. Noah was not only the man who built the shelter. He had to trust it with his own weight, his own family and his own future. The animals were inside. The food was inside. The work of building had become the work of waiting. Then the door was shut. Let that sound be deep, but not frightening. The closing of the door is the moment shelter becomes shelter. Outside and inside are made clear. The rain may come. Those inside are held. For a little while, perhaps, there was only the strange quiet of waiting. No rain yet. Just the ark, the family, the creatures, and the closed door. Then the first drops came. The first rain. At first, perhaps, the rain was only a tapping. One drop on timber, then another, then many. The roof began to speak in water. Inside, the lamps were low. The animals shifted and settled. A bird tucked its head beneath its wing. A lamb folded its legs under itself. Somewhere in the dimness, a larger animal breathed out slowly. Noah listened. His family listened. The rain grew steadier. For 40 days and 40 nights the rain fell. That is the old shape of the story. A long rain, more than ordinary weather. But inside the ark it was rain heard through shelter. It struck the roof, ran down the sides and passed away. The waters rose, the ground disappeared. Things that had always seemed fixed were covered, and still the ark did what it had been built to do. It held, and when the waters rose enough, the ark lifted. Perhaps it happened gently at first, a change beneath the feet, a soft answer in the timbers, the great vessel taking its weight from the water. What had been grounded began to float. The ark was not lost. It was being carried. The rain kept falling. The water kept rising. The ark moved upon the face of the waters, carrying Noah, his family, and the gathered creatures through the long, dark weather. The long waiting after the rain and the lifting came the long waiting. Waiting is a quiet part of Noah's story, but it is not empty. Inside the ark there would have been ordinary work, feeding, cleaning, checking, listening, resting, waking, beginning again. Morning and evening came by the changing light through the small window. The family learned the vessel, which boards creaked, which animals settled quickly, which stall needed care, how to move without haste when the ark rocked in the dark. Perhaps Noah counted days. Perhaps he stopped counting for a while and simply did the work in front of him. Feed this creature, check that rope, trim the lamp, listen at the window. Speak softly when the animals grew restless. There were no fields to tend outside, no paths to walk, no familiar hill to look toward, only the ark, the water, and the keeping of life. Noah could not hurry the waters down by watching them. He could not make land appear by wishing for it. He could remain faithful inside the place God had given him. There is rest in that thought. Some things are carried by waiting. Some mornings cannot be pulled closer by worry. They come when they come. So if there is something waiting in your own life, let it wait for a while without your constant attention. A decision, a hope, a worry, a question you cannot answer before morning. Set it down. The ark has room for waiting. The waters fall. At last, the rain stopped. But the story does not end when the rain stops. The world had to settle. The waters had to lower. The ark had to keep floating while the hidden earth returned beneath it. There must have been a different quiet then, the roof no longer speaking so loudly, the air changing, the animals lifting their heads, Noah listening for something new. The ark came to rest on the mountains of Ararat. Rest. After floating, rest. After being carried, stillness. After so much water, ground beneath the vessel again. Even then, Noah did not rush out. The ark had stopped moving, but the earth was not ready. This is one of the patient truths of the story. A first sign is not the same as the finish. Resting on the mountain was hope, but Noah still had to wait. He waited. He opened the window of the ark. The small, high opening that had let in light now became the place from which hope would be tested. This is where our passage comes in. The raven, the dove, and the olive leaf. The words here, the words from Genesis, in the old translation. Let them come slowly, like a window opening after rain. And it came to pass at the end of 40 days, that Noah opened the window of the ark which he had made. And he sent forth a raven, which went forth to and fro, until the waters were dried up from off the earth. Also he sent forth a dove from him, to see if the waters were abated from off the face of the ground. But the dove found no rest for the sole of her foot, and she returned unto him into the ark, for the waters were on the face of the whole earth. Then he put forth his hand, and took her, and pulled her in unto him into the ark. And he stayed yet other 7 days. And again he sent forth the dove out of the ark, and the dove came into him in the evening, and lo, in her mouth was an olive leaf plucked off. So Noah knew that the waters were abated from off the earth. And he stayed yet other 7 days, and sent forth the dove, which returned not again unto him any more. That is the passage. A window opened. A raven going to and fro, a dove finding no place to rest, then returning to Noah's hand. 7 more days. The dove sent again. Evening. An olive leaf. A small green sign that the waters were going down. Hope did not arrive all at once. First it came back tired. Then it came back with a leaf. Then it did not need to come back at all. The raven and the dove Noah first sent out a raven. The raven went to and fro. It moved over the waters back and forth, restless across the wide, changed world. The story gives it only a little space, but the image is clear. A dark bird over water, searching, moving, not yet bringing the answer Noah waited for. Then Noah sent the dove. The first time the dove found no rest for the sole of her foot, no branch ready, no dry place, no safe landing. So she returned, and Noah reached out and drew her back into the ark. It is a small mercy inside the larger story. The world was not ready, so the shelter received the tired bird again. Not every attempt has to succeed the first time. Not every sign appears when we first look for it. Sometimes hope comes back weary and must be taken gently into the hand. Noah waited 7 more days. Then he sent the dove again. This time she returned in the evening with an olive leaf in her mouth. Evening is a quiet time for hope to arrive, not blazing noon, not a trumpet, just evening, and a small green leaf carried by a bird. Noah knew then that the waters were going down. The world was returning. Roots had held under the water. Branches had waited. Green had survived. Some mercies come that way, not as the whole answer, not as dry ground under both feet. Just a leaf, a sign, enough to know the water is falling. Noah waited yet another 7 days. Then he sent the dove once more. This time she did not return. That too was a sign. The bird no longer needed the ark. Somewhere beyond Noah's sight, there was a place for her feet, a branch, a new home in the cleansed world. Dry ground. Still Noah waited. The story keeps its patience to the end. He did not rush out because one leaf had appeared. He waited until the time was right. Then, in time, the covering was removed. Noah looked, and the face of the ground was dry. Imagine that first breath of changed air, not the closed warmth of the ark now, but open air, clean earth, the smell after water, the quiet of a world beginning again. The door opened. Noah came out. His family came out. The animals came out after their kinds. Birds to the air, cattle to the fields, small creatures to the ground. The ark that had gathered life now released it. Hooves touched earth. Wings opened. Creatures moved into the light. The stalls emptied. The ramp that had carried life inward now carried life back out. And Noah gave thanks, not with noise, not with haste, with gratitude. A quiet altar, a heart turned toward the God who had carried them through. The story does not end with escape, it ends with worship, promise, and a world beginning again. The bow in the cloud. After the flood, the story gives one more sign of peace, a bow in the cloud, a rainbow, color after rain, light held in water, a promise shown where the storm had been. The cloud was no longer only a reminder of rain. It became a place where mercy could be seen. Let the bow be soft in the mind, not bright or loud, just a gentle arc over clean earth. Noah's story is not only about rain, it is about being kept. It is not only about waiting, it is about small signs of hope. It is not only about an ark, it is about God making room for life, remembering, and bringing the creatures out again into air and light. The same sky that had held rain now held color. The same clouds that had been heavy now carried promise. Peace now, let the story grow quiet around you. The ark has been built, the animals have entered. Noah and his family have stepped inside. The door has closed, the rain has fallen, the vessel has lifted and floated. The waiting has been long, the window has opened, the raven has flown, the dove has returned, the olive leaf has been carried home, the ground has dried, the door has opened, life has stepped out, the bow has appeared in the cloud. The story has moved from trouble to shelter, to waiting, to hope, to peace. And the story can settle there, inside that peace. If you are still awake, choose one quiet image and let it be enough. Rain on timber, animals breathing in straw, Noah's hand drawing the tired dove back into the ark, the olive leaf in the evening light, the first smell of dry ground, the bow in the cloud. Any one of these is enough. You do not have to hold the whole story at once. It has carried itself. You have listened from the first command to the final promise, from the ark on dry ground to the bow in the cloud. Let the final images stay simple. Let the thoughts fold their wings. The dove has found a place to rest. The ark has come to stillness. The ground is dry beneath the morning that comes after the rain. The shelter holds, the promise remains, and the story is complete.